It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. It's time to get right into it, and we start straight away with Joe Franklin looking at Eyre Peninsula Netball. G'day, Joe. How's your week been?
Oh, a bit wet and a bit cold, but other than that, not too bad.
But it's Field Days week. It's supposed to be like that, isn't it?
And that is exactly what everybody's saying. You can guarantee Field Days week will just be the worst weather. Either you'll go from one thing to another. And
well, hopefully it's a sign, as I knew from previous years, if it was wet and blustery and just yucky weather at the Field Days, it was going to be a good season. So hopefully that keeps ringing true.
Oh, yeah, fingers crossed for them. And look, honestly, the weather wasn't all that much better last Saturday in some places. However, some sides were able to make the most of the conditions and come away with some wins. And Lock was one of those.
Yes.
They really needed that win against United Gelana, and they did come away with it. They won 44 to United Gelana 35. Very happy with that win because that cements them almost
I think so, yeah.
a position in the top four. So they will be playing finals in the A grade, which they will be very very happy about. I know Lisa is pretty happy about that, and is looking forward to building towards that finals series. And that her and Jordan Sladden are really doing very well in goals for Lock, and they've been able to settle down the last couple of weeks. They've actually been able to settle down a bit of a combination, and in defence they've sort of been able to settle that down a little bit, and a little bit of height in there and a fair bit of strength, which is really helping them down there. And their centre court, Millie Morton's, she's just keeping it nice and steady through there. She's got a bit of pace, but she's also got experience, and she's keeping it steady for them. And look, United Gelana, the young girls there, really had to step up this week, and they tried really hard. In the end, it was Lock's ability to be able to finish off with the goals, and just that little bit of extra height in the defence and their strength was got them over the line. But those girls are going to develop. There's no question about that. They're only young. Most of them are still only under 17s. They've got a couple of older ones in there, but which we won't talk about their age.
Yeah.
But
we need a calculator to work it out. That's why.
They're hanging in there, but just not quite good enough in the end. And Lock running away there, and unfortunately for Ramblers, a similar sort of story for them. They were able to score 27 goals this week. However, Cummins Penny were able to score 64. So certainly the Cougars girls are back on track and are certainly building towards finals. They've settling down a little bit more and certainly covering the losses that positional losses that they have had, and doing really well, and we'd be very pleased to come away with a 64-27 win there. And
absolutely,
Ramblers, Ramblers, I'm curious to score 27 goals against a side of the calibre of Cougars is not a bad effort for the young kids. And as she said, the young ones are still hanging in there and giving it their all every week, and a coach can't ask much more than that.
Rebuilding. We said it last week. They're rebuilding.
Absolutely. And hopefully for Kira, they will be able to hang on to those young ones that they blooded this year for another 12 months, which would be really good that they could back up. That would be excellent for them. And so then that took us to probably the game of the round, where Tumby Bay had to travel to Poochera, and they got the job done. They were able to beat Elliston 39-31. A bit of a highlight there for Elliston. Young Bria Feltus, people would know her dad very well through the football circle, Scotty Feltus, and her mum, Sharon, she was a Ramsey from Cow, and I coached Sharon when she was 13. She debuted A grade at 13, so Bria only just missed out on beating her mum, age-wise, on her debut. Mind you, having said that, Sharon went on and we won the grand final that year. So I'm thinking that Bria might be hoping that she could do a similar sort of thing and follow in her mum's footsteps. But she did really well. She came up against Summer Cave, who is very experienced, very tall, very strong, never gives in, contests every single ball. But Bria stood up to it and did a good job. So well done to her. And Kate Baker was really happy with the effort that she put in. Tumby, on the other hand, they just keep on keeping on, and they still hold that top spot. And I do think that maybe the coach put herself on for a few minutes just so that she might get herself qualified. Stacey's just telling her, she was just testing the knee out a little bit, I think, to see how it was going to hold up. But again, Ilka Stone in goals was really good for them, although very much she had it taken up to her by Kelsey Hull from Elliston. A very interesting contest, and it will be interesting. That will be a very interesting contest during the finals as well, if those two get to play each other, because Kelsey's tough, and Ilka doesn't give up either, so that will be really interesting. But so, the three winners that we expected there came away with wins, and so that will set everything up for this week, Clayton.
Yes, and with only one round after this one to go, and it's going to be, well, we start with the Lock and Ramblers. You can pen that one in for Lock. They'll win that one easy.
Yeah, they should do, and they would certainly be hoping to do that. And mind you, at the same time, Lisa's saying that they actually need to keep the momentum going. They don't want to take the foot off the pedal. They need to keep concentrating and keep working really hard because you give young kids a sniff and they can run with it. So certainly they want to be making sure that they build and build and build, and they're certainly working pretty hard at training. So I think that we could certainly pencil Lock in for a win there.
Yeah, well, the Lock girls have been building momentum, as we said, over the last few weeks, so I think they will be stamping their foot down this week to continue that momentum on for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Eyre United take on United Yalana.
Yeah, they do. Now, this could be a little bit interesting because technically speaking, mathematical, isn't that a word that Jason used to use a lot?
Yeah.
Mathematically speaking, whichever one of these sides wins could still, if there was a big hiccup in any of the other games this week or next week, they could technically make the finals. So this will be a bit cutthroat. Look, Eyre United would certainly be hoping that coming off the bye that they would be able to beat United Yalana. They will be wanting to take that win just to give themselves that little bit of an outside chance of perhaps playing finals. Not sure who they have and haven't got available this week. They did have a couple missing the last time they played, but hopefully the week off has enabled them to get over a little couple of injury niggles, and hopefully any of the illnesses that are going around, there's the flu and there's the gastro, and then of course COVID's still hanging around, but United Yalana, they would be really hoping that they could get a win in here as well, because like I said, it might just hold them in. So, look, Cassie Maxfield, you just never count her out. If she thinks that there's even a sniff of them being able to play finals, she'll give it absolutely everything she's got. And it'll be interesting to see her up against the Flavel girls, or if that's the way the book goes, in goals. But look, it's out at Ungara, and I just think that Eyre United have probably got just a little bit more to play for and might just get over the line.
I totally agree with you. And then on to, what do you think this could be a grand final preview?
Oh, look, it could be. It could be. And I think that it will be on for young and old for that, because they're going to be wanting to take that ascendancy into the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, look, they certainly will. I think that it'll be interesting. Ilka in goal shooter will be up against one of the young girls, either Molly Burns or Holly Gale, and I think that her experience in the end will just shine through there for Tumby. Having said that, the Cummers Capini have certainly got the experience through the centre court. There's no question about that. And Tumby have lost Kennedy McNamara. She'll be missing for a couple of weeks. Whilst it wasn't an ACL, it was still a major knee injury that she can come back from without an operation, if we can put it that way.
Yeah.
But she will be missing for a couple of weeks. And so Cougars will probably want to take advantage of that, I think, because that will sort of bring a young one into the centre court for Tumby. And so it'll be interesting whether Jack is back this week, Jack Green's back for Cougars or not, will also be a telling factor. And they have been playing the Green girls, Hannah and Ruby, in goals together at Cougars, and that's a tough task against Summer Cave, who has been playing really well as well for Tumby. So some great matchups all over the court in this game. And look,
come on.
I know.
You want to pick Cummins. You want to do, but you're going to go with Tumby. I can tell.
Oh, look, I will stick with Ilka, I think, and just think that Tumby might just be settled enough to get themselves over the line.
Come on, Cougars.
Yeah, they're bound to do that now. And because Ellison had the bye, which I can tell you, Kate, while she said it's not ideal, she's actually quite pleased about it, because she's got a couple of players who have got a little bit of niggling injuries. One of her stars, Nikki Schubert, might be one of those, and so she's looking forward to a little bit of a rest and having a little bit of rehab done, and being fighting fit to run into the final, to play next week and then run into the final. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully those Ellison girls can get themselves fit, because if they do, it will be a very interesting, exciting final series. There's no question about that.
Absolutely. All right. We better move over to the Eastern Eyre Netball Association for the big games. But looking back at last week and sort of basically went as prescribed, Eastern Rangers easily over Kimber Districts.
Yeah, 52-34. Now, that would be one of the biggest margins that there has been between these two teams, because normally they're very tight, very close games. Eastern Rangers certainly put the foot down and want to make sure that they show that they're the team to beat come finals time. And whilst they also have a couple of injuries that they need to make sure they get sorted, ready for the finals, their depth is there, and they were able to get themselves over the line. Not sure what Kimber did or didn't have available. Haven't heard from Whip for a while. But obviously Eastern Rangers very strong on Saturday, and we're able to get that quite a handy win and show that they've got a little bit of ascendancy there over Kimber at the moment. But Kimber come finals time, would never ever write them out. And then in the other game, just as we would have thought, the Central United had a big win over Cow, 46-27, and again, Central United are building themselves towards hopefully playing in a grand final and being able to show that they have the goods. So that very tall side, Central United, when they're all together and they can get everybody out on the court. So it'll be interesting just to see how they go this week, because they actually come up against Kimber this week. That
they do. So could the Storm take care of and blow Kimber off the court?
Well, look, I would not doubt that they could do that, and it's a home game for them again as well. Not that from Kimber it's not that far to travel, but it's a very interesting game. I just think young Rani Tomney is having a blinder of a season in goals for Storm, and they've, like I said a few times now, the two Bruce girls are really got some good, strong. They're tall, they're strong, they're skilled. Fill around the centre court there with them, and they have got on paper. They have certainly got the potential to be playing in a grand final, and they've certainly got the potential to be able to beat Kimber on Saturday. So I'll be interested to see what does happen in that game. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure of what Kimber will have available for them. But look, I actually think that if Central United wanted to be a real force, that this is the time to show it. And I reckon if Azeka could get them all on track at the same time and play 4 consistent quarters, they certainly would take this game out against Kimber.
Absolutely, yes. I just fancy them in this game. I think they just need it. It'll boost their confidence coming into finals, especially. Into the other game, the Eastern Rangers against Ports, and Eastern Rangers will be far too good.
Far too good. Even if they do have one or two missing, they'll be too good for Ports here. Look, Chloe is just really, really hopeful. Ports coach is just really hoping that next week, for the final game of the year, she's actually going to have all 7 of her players available at the same time. So she's actually building towards, looking further ahead than Saturday, because she said, Rangers are always a really tough task, and it is at home for Rangers, and she has Ports don't have their full team, and so, Rangers, even if I think they might have a little bit of an ankle injury, one of the Science girls might have a little bit of an ankle injury, and, even if they take the opportunity to rest her, they certainly have the depth to cover that, and I think that they will certainly run away with this game and just keep on building towards the finals.
Absolutely, yes. I don't think it'll bother them at all, and I think this will all be over by half time. But
we're hoping it's not so for Ports, but yes,
you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Ports are rebuilding too, so they'll learn a lot from this game, and they're more focused on the following week, so that's okay. They might throw this game. They might throw it. No, they won't. No, they'll put a top effort.
Oh, look, I'm sure that, like Chloe said, they have consistently been throwing over the 30, 35 goals over the last few weeks. So she said, if they can continue to do that, then at least they're being competitive. Yeah. So, hopefully that they'll be able to do that again this week.
We'll see how they go. All right, Joe, it's been an interesting week. Anything else before we wrap up?
Eastern Eyre did have a coaching clinic for their juniors on the weekend. Kylie Petherick from Port Lincoln went up there on Sunday, and so I do know that they want to thank Kylie for her efforts, and I know that the kids and the coaches took a lot away from it. So a great initiative for them to do that. And other than that, I think a lot of those people from that way will be ready for a rest after field days.
Yes, absolutely, as we all will be. All right, no worries, Joe. You have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the netball, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Certainly will, Clayton. Thanks for that.